Hey there, friends, and welcome back to an action-packed edition of Weather for Weather Geeks here on Thursday, Pi Day, the 14th day of March. What a day it was! It got even warmer than we thought it would this afternoon. Just amazing. Now, this was not a record, but still, of course, when it gets to 75 degrees in the middle of March, that is a real bargain. We hit that high at 3:47 this afternoon, our warmest day since October 10th when it was in the 80s. That was kind of one of the last days before the pattern changed in October. The first 11 days of October were quite warm. The rest of the month was quite chilly. And so the last time we hit 80 plus was back on October 10th. The next day the high was 70, and then after that fall really settled in. But yeah, 75 here locally today, 77 Pittsburgh. It hit 79 in Wheeling this afternoon. What a day it was. All right, now our concern becomes, will we see any heavy gusty storms this evening? It's been a big day for severe weather today across parts of southern Indiana, the Kentucky, central northern parts of Kentucky, I should say, southwest Ohio as well. And as of 7:02 this evening, there was a severe thunderstorm watch out until 10 o'clock for all the counties in yellow. This includes Cleveland, Mansfield, Columbus to Cincinnati. Extends as far east as Akron, but does not include our television viewing area, and I do not expect us to be put under a severe thunderstorm watch for this evening. The radar a little after 7 p.m. looked like this. A lot of activity. The severe weather threat pretty much confined to areas south of Interstate 70 as of just after 7 o'clock. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings right along and east of I-71 down towards Wilmington and east of Cincinnati. North of I-70, we have a few lightning strikes, but nothing really to write home about here. Some pretty garden variety showers with a few claps of thunder. Now, the ingredients for severe weather today, it's all been about the wind shear. There hasn't been a tremendous amount of instability in the atmosphere, a lot of dry air in the lower levels of the atmosphere, but there's a ton of wind shear. And this parameter, based on one of our high-res models, kind of combines the instability or the ability of air parcels to rise. It combines that with the wind shear, the changing of the wind direction and wind speed as you go up in height through the atmosphere. When you get into those darker blues, our legends up here, this is all in the low category, but still, the supercell parameter here elevated this evening in areas where the radar is pretty active. Notice what happens here as I put this in motion, though. Those blues kind of disappear, and as all this activity shifts into eastern Ohio, the ingredients just aren't as good for the kind of organized, robust thunderstorm activity that we've been seeing over the last several hours. Now, that being said, could we hear some thunder this evening? Could there be a gusty thunderstorm and perhaps even a small chance of a severe thunderstorm? Yes, but overall, I'm not expecting the threat to be as elevated as our neighbors in central and western Ohio. All of this is coming our way mid to late evening, and then we'll sound the all clear by 11:30 to midnight at the latest. Not much more than a shower or two after that. In fact, the sky will probably turn mostly clear, if not partly cloudy, late tonight. All right, let's start talking about Friday and the weekend, because unfortunately today's 70s are not going to last. Temperatures probably level off in the mid-40s, lower to mid-40s for the afternoon and evening tomorrow. There'll be some chilly, blustery rain showers around. It's going to feel a lot different in 24 hours. That is for sure. It's going to feel about 35 degrees colder than it does this evening. And then eventually, the air mass from the ground on up will be cold enough to support a few snowflakes late Friday night into Saturday. This won't amount to anything, but a few flurries will be seen as we kick off the weekend Saturday. And this little system on Sunday, we might have to insert a chance for a couple of late-day flurries into the forecast for Sunday. Right now, our Sunday forecast is dry, but I might have to add in just a little precipitation on Sunday. It'll be non-impactful, it looks like, if it does occur. But yeah, chilly weather, 37 Saturday, 39 Sunday afternoon. So, it's mid-March. The kind of weather that we had today is not likely to last very long. The exception to that, you may remember the very warm March of 2012. We had a lot of days like this back in 2012, but that is definitely an exception. Usually at this time of the year, if we get a 75-degree day, it's not unheard of, certainly. In fact, we didn't even break a record today, but it's usually kind of a 1 or 2 day deal. All right, longer range. This is this evening's European model long-range forecast taking us out through 46 days. As always, when I show you this, take everything with a grain of salt. Models tend to get quite a bit more inaccurate with time, but we are going to look at trends and see if this jives with some of the recent runs of this set of modeling, other sets of long-range modeling. Tonight's run shows the mild air that we're expecting at the end of March. I'm expecting the last week of March to be pretty mild compared to the average. Now, does that mean a lot of days like today? No. But a lot of days with highs in the 50s and 60s? Yeah, I think that's pretty likely. Last week of the month. That being said, as we go into April, tonight's European long-range model does not exactly paint a blowtorch picture here for the month of April. It shows, kind of a ho-hum look to the pattern, with perhaps some cold centered out west, warm anomalies centered up in Canada, and then we're kind of in between. It may, if this were to be exactly right, which is unlikely, but if it were to be exactly right, it paints a picture of just a pretty typical April. In April, our averages rise quickly, so daytime highs in the 50s and 60s are pretty common in April, and European Tonight says, hey, there'll be a lot of days like that coming up this April. Whether that's too cool of a model run or not, the overall theme of the forecast that I've been talking about for this spring is that April is going to be warmer than last year, which was very chilly, and we should have a more typical gradual transition into spring than we did last year, which was chilly, 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 and then instant summer. For a full recap on 21 News at 11. Have a great night.